There has never been a greater time than now to invest in the Metro Detroit area, and there is no other investment firm better qualified than Platinum Real Estate Holdings. With 40 years experience and over 1,000 homes sold, let Platinum Real Estate Holdings assist you with the purchase of a city-certified home of the highest quality, turnkey properties, screen renters, yielding instant cash flow. Well, what are you waiting for? Call or visit us online today.
Welcome to the weekly recap for the week of August 22nd. In today's recap, we will update you on the progress of the Detroit Riverfront. And lastly, share 7 real estate negotiation tips. This week's recap begins now. Detroit is making steady progress in creating a downtown riverfront that is a popular recreation area, a commercial district, and an upscale residential strip. 3 million people a year use the Riverwalk, the pedestrian/bike path that runs along the river from Belle Isle to Rosa Parks Boulevard. It's one of downtown's most popular attractions. This year, several key projects will bolster the upscale housing scene along the river's edge. One of those developments is Orleans Landing, the $65 million 7.7-acre housing and retail complex being built 1 block from the Detroit River. The facility began accepting leases this month for its 287 apartments. Rent starts at $1,315 for a 1-bedroom. The units will be ready for occupancy this fall. Orleans Landing is at the corner where the Riverwalk links to the DeQuinder Cut. Greenway, another pedestrian/bike path that leads north to the Eastern Market. The Detroit River is 1 block away, and many apartments, particularly the $2,995 a month 2-bedroom townhouses, will offer commanding views of river and city. Matt Lester, founder and CEO of Princeton Enterprises in Bloomfield Township, recently bought 2 key pieces of the massive Straw River Place, the historical Riverfront campus that borders Joseph Campo. It's 1 block east of Orleans Landing. He says the Riverfront should be the premier place to live. It's the most naturally beautiful. The 25-acre Stroh River Place was once the headquarters of the Park Davis Pharmaceutical Company. Part of the campus dates back to the 19th century. It's a series of red-cloistered red brick buildings. It later became the Stroh Brewery Company's headquarters. Part of the facility now includes condominium units. Another is an office and retail facility that includes the high-end Rattlesnake Club restaurant. Neither the condominiums nor the 300 River Place building with the restaurant was involved in the recent sale. What Princeton did buy was 500 River Place, which has 301 rental apartments, and Talon Center at 100 River Place, which is a 67,000 square foot office building along the river. Princeton bought the apartment building from the Detroit General Retirement System. The Talon Center building was owned by an entity affiliated with the owner of Lormax Stern Development Company in Birmingham. The sales prices were not disclosed and have not been publicly recorded. Beyond the River Place sale, a portion of another upscale riverfront apartment complex, Riverfront Towers, was sold in June to a New York firm, Image Capital LLC, and private investors bought 2 of the 3 Riverfront Towers for $79.5 million. There's a total of 577 rental units. The 3rd tower, which has condominiums, was not sold. The new owners have promised upgrades to the Riverfront Towers, including restoration of the 77 Slip Marina that's been closed for several years. Image Capital's other listed holdings include the CNN building in Washington, D.C., and One South Wacker in Chicago. More big changes are coming for 400 acres of riverfront known as the East Riverfront. The city and the nonprofit that oversees the Riverwalk are working on what will essentially be the roadmap of how much retail, housing, and infrastructure could be built, and how much open space will be preserved. The area being examined stretches from the eastern edge of the General Motors Renaissance Center to the western border of Gabriel Richard Park next to Belle Isle. It includes many public and private spaces such as Shane Park Amphitheater, the UAW GM Center for Human Resources, and the empty Uniroyal site. The Uniroyal site is one of the former industrial sites the city gained control of and then cleaned up. It's now looking for a new life. On Tuesday night, hundreds attended a public meeting that showed drafts of plans in which the riverfront had more parking, buildings, public transportation, and open space. How to negotiate. 7 real estate negotiation tips. While you can spend your entire lifetime trying to perfect the art of negotiation, learning a few key negotiation strategies can put you far ahead of most of your competition and help you navigate those times when you're up against an unmotivated seller, a savvy buyer, or a headstrong contractor. Here are 7 essential real estate negotiation tips. Number 1, let the other party speak first. You'll often hear people say, never make the first offer. Let the other party do it. This is great advice. But do you know why that will help your negotiation position? There are 2 reasons. First, it allows you to define a midpoint. Many inexperienced negotiators will find themselves splitting the difference. The seller starts at $200, the buyer offers $100, and you end up with $150. But when the other party states their position first, you have the ability to actually define the midpoint in the negotiation. An example is if the seller states $200, the buyer could easily offer $60, thereby reducing the midpoint of the negotiation where they expect to end up, down at $130 in that example. Secondly, by starting your position first, you've given away valuable information to the other party, your maximum price, and he will use that information to exact the most money possible from you. Tip number 2, stop talking and start listening. One of the strongest maneuvers when negotiating is to keep your mouth shut. Unfortunately, it's also one of the most difficult. People are naturally uncomfortable during a negotiating silence. But this is exactly why you should work to ensure those silent periods occur. The common result of this uncomfortable situation is that one party will make a concession to break the awkward silence. Next time you're negotiating and the person on the other side of the table throws out an offer, make a point to say nothing. Whether it's 10 seconds or 10 minutes, make the other person break the silence. This may be the most basic but most useful negotiation tactic you'll ever employ. Tip number 3, information is power. I'd estimate that in 95% of all negotiations between inexperienced negotiators, the one with the most information pertaining to the negotiation will walk away with the better outcome about the object of the negotiation and also about the party you're negotiating with and their motives. Tip number 4, always get the last concession. Part of being a good negotiator is training the other party to do what you want without them even realizing it. Here is one way to do that with someone you will be negotiating with several times. Always make sure you ask for and get the last concession in the negotiation. A concession is something the other party gives in the negotiation, a price drop, better terms, etc. By always asking for and getting the final concession, the other party will, over time, learn to stop asking for things once he essentially has what he wants/needs from the negotiation. If the other party realizes that every time he asks for something, he will need to give something, he will naturally shy away from asking for more than what he needs in fear that he will be asked to give up something important in return. Tip number 5, implement a penalty for asking for concessions. Have you ever been on the phone with a customer service representative from some company negotiating some point? For example, you're on the phone with your cable company trying to get your monthly fee reduced by $20. You find that every time you ask for something, the rep puts you on hold for 10 minutes while they check to see if they can do that. You can bet it doesn't take them 10 minutes to determine whether they can give you $20 off your bill. But they realize that when you ask for $20 off, then wait for 10 minutes, and then they come back and counter offer you $5 off your bill, you're going to be less likely to go another negotiating round. You're powerless. You have the option to wait for some unknown amount of time or hang up and get nothing. Tip number 6, friction is your friend. On the surface, a negotiation that ends quickly and smoothly without too much back and forth appears to be a good one. But this isn't necessarily the case. Can you remember the last time you went into a negotiation and the other person quickly accepted your offer without too much protest or countering? How did it make you feel? If you're like most people, you probably felt like you didn't get as good a deal as you could have. You probably felt that because the other party didn't put up too much resistance, you didn't get the best deal. Oftentimes, though, the other party feels the same way. There wasn't enough friction in the negotiation to make both parties feel like they earned a great deal. If you really want to ensure that the other side doesn't back out after the negotiation is finished, make them work hard to get a common agreement. This is especially important in real estate investing when the other party often has several days, if not weeks, to back out of an agreed upon deal. Tip number 7, check your ego at the door. Sometimes we assume that the other side is looking for something tangible in the outcome of a negotiation, more money, better terms, etc. But a lot of people who pride themselves on their negotiation skills are more interested in having their ego stroked than they are in any real tangible outcome. In real estate negotiation, this might mean telling a contractor how highly recommended he comes. It might mean reminding a potential investor or buyer how good he is at rehabbing on a shoestring budget. Or it might mean confessing to your wholesaler how much you hate buying from him because he is such a good negotiator. You'd be surprised how far some sincere flattery will go in getting you a better outcome. Well, that's this week's recap. Did you find this recap helpful? Let us know in the comments below. Thank you for listening and have a great day.
This has been your weekly real estate investment news recap. Did you find this recap helpful? Please like or comment below this video to enter to win a free copy of our ebook, The Ultimate Real Estate Guide for Residential Real Estate Investments. You can also subscribe to our channel or go to our website to receive the latest in real estate news. Our website also affords you the opportunity to view our latest turnkey properties.